All right, this section is going to be about the Boxer Rebellion. Okay, so in the I don't think I went through that yet. No, I didn't. In 1890, the imperialists of Europe, they got together and they put a big old map of Africa out on the table. Okay, this is called the Berlin Conference because it was in Berlin, which is the capital of Germany. So all the European countries met, the really powerful ones, put a big map of Africa out and say, okay, we're going to carve this thing up. Okay, so France gets this piece, England gets this piece, Belgium gets the Congo, whatever, and they just, without Africa's permission, they split the entire continent up. No Africans were invited to this meeting. And then as soon as they were done with that meeting and all the negotiations had been done, the Europeans left Europe and they went and conquered Africa. And they turned Africa into a bunch of imperial possessions. And it totally screwed up Africa for the last 150 years, okay, or 130 years. So if you ever wonder why Africa's so messed up, it's because of the Berlin Conference and what happened there. So they said to themselves, man, that worked great. Let's do it again. But let's pick China this time, okay? So they put a big map of China down. They did the same thing, and then the European countries invade. This is called the Boxer Rebellion. It lasted from 1899 to 1901. And 1901 is when Teddy became president, right at the end of this thing. So the Chinese obviously rebelled against these European imperialists, and they lost. They lost big time, okay? And China had to actually pay the people that attacked them for the war. They said, it's your fault because you resisted. So you have to pay us back for our troops and our losses. So anyway, that's the Boxer Rebellion. We see it right here. We have a political cartoon. We have all the different countries represented, and the Chinese guys running up, screaming, no, don't carve up my country. So we have a historic painting. This one's from China, okay? Now, the U.S. steps in right at the end to help stop the rebellion, and then China has to pay us tribute as well. But we decide to do something totally different than the Europeans, okay? We took the money from China that they paid us, and we gave it back to China. We said, use this to rebuild your country. We're sorry for what happened here, okay? So that was Teddy Roosevelt's decision at that point. Now, the U.S. said, look, Africa's all screwed up because of what you Europeans did to it. Let's not do this to China because who's going to be next, right? Let's not do this. We're going to have a world war if you don't stop this. So America decides on what's called the open door policy with China, okay? Now, it's a pretty good strategy, okay? So what the open door policy is all imperial powers, all of them from Europe and America, can freely trade with China. So we could get the benefits of owning China basically without the slavery part, okay? So we're not going to enslave the Chinese like the Europeans enslaved the Africans for the second time. So all imperial powers can have bases in China. So part of imperialism is having military bases. Here's the deal. If you want a base, fine, you build it yourself. Now, China was not allowed to refuse. So if they come into Beijing and say, I want a base in Beijing, China could not refuse. That was part of the open door policy. But the countries from Europe and America, they had to build their own bases, and the open door policy said that they had to rent the bases. Okay, so if you're going to have a base in China, you got to pay China rent on it. So it builds China back up after this big Boxer Rebellion. Every nation could trade with China. That's the open door, okay? So you need to know about the open door policy. You need to know what it means, how it worked, okay? Again, all nations could trade, and everybody could have a base. If you ever left or if you ever stopped paying rent on your base, the Chinese got the base for free. That was the deal they made to make China happy and to make all the Europeans happy and America and to stop a world war from happening. And Teddy Roosevelt's the one who really negotiated that and helped out with that.